Okay guys, one of our friend had a question. So when I was just passing by, I saw someone was asking on physical properties of nitrogen. So physically it shows that nitrogen, I will not give all of the physical properties, but then at least I can give a light on some few of the physical properties I know. One which shows that nitrogen gas is colorless. Nitrogen has no color because previously we have seen that nitrogen has the biggest composition in air. That is 78% of the air is nitrogen. So in actual sense, when you look around you, okay, around me, because around me this is all air, I'm moving my hands in air, okay, and much of the percentage is nitrogen, but I can't point on any molecule that maybe here I have nitrogen or there I have nitrogen. So that can tell that nitrogen for real, it has no color, so it's colorless. That's one of the property. Then the other property we can think about, nitrogen has no taste, okay. In air, nitrogen, you can't say that nitrogen may be sour or it is sweet. So nitrogen has no taste. That's another property I can give. Then thirdly, nitrogen has no smell. Okay, so you can't smell it. So for real, when you smell around you, I can't smell nitrogen. Yeah, in real life, I can't smell nitrogen. So I can say nitrogen has no smell at all. Okay. So leaving that aside, apart from its color, the taste, and maybe the smell, which shows that nitrogen is slightly soluble in water, just slightly soluble. So it's almost insoluble in water, but slightly soluble in water. That's another physical property. Then another one I can give, nitrogen as a gas is slightly denser than air. So it shows that nitrogen, it's very rare to find nitrogen at higher altitude. So much of the nitrogen we have in the atmosphere is at a low altitude. So it's a little bit denser than air. So mean that around the low altitudes, that's where you actually can get much of our nitrogen. Then maybe another property I can think about, we shall say that nitrogen as a gas is somehow unreactive with other elements. So unreactive, or some books say nitrogen is inert. So inert, unreactive. So probably nitrogen is inert as a gas. So inert means that it's almost unreactive, or is resistant to reactions, though we shows that nitrogen still will react with some few elements. For instance, we shows that nitrogen can react with burning magnesium, burning calcium, that is to form the corresponding nitrides of the metal. So that's how nitrogen is. So though it's unreactive, but then when you react it with burning, or when you get a burning magnesium and then you insert it in a gas jar of nitrogen, probably it will react to form the nitride of the metal. Similarly with the calcium. Okay, so that is it. So that's all I can think about. Okay, the properties of nitrogen. Okay, unless someone else has any other questions, so one who can top on, because I know that properties, they can be many. You never know. So if I really have another property, then you can top on. So those are the ones I can't give at the moment. Okay, so the gas is colorless, it has no taste, it has no smell, slightly denser than air, so it's almost unreactive, almost inert, then slightly soluble in water. So those are some of the properties I can give. So for those who have more questions, so please, I'll be glad actually to receive those questions there. Okay, so otherwise, let me wish you a nice day.